Hello, good evening, and welcome to your weekend show, The Weekend File. And we thank you for finding time to join us tonight on the program. Following local government reforms in Nigeria, it became recognized as the third tier of government with clearly defined functional responsibilities in power-sharing relationship with the states in an institutional safeguard against tyranny. It was also designed to share a national revenue consequent upon its constitutionally allocated functions. For many years now, there has been what analysts describe as constitutional confusion and complexity that have led to prolonged disagreement on the relationship between the local government, the state, and of course the federal government, and what should be the actual characterization of local government administration in Nigeria. In recent years, local government administrators in Nigeria have been accused of lack of performance, which many blame on the overbearing influence of states, houses of assembly, corruption, joint state and local government accounting system appointment rather than election of chairmen and councillors. In some states, local governments operate for a long time without elected chairmen and councillors, and where they exist, the state can dissolve them at will. And because of the joint account system, the federal allocation to local government seems not to be sufficiently disbursed to them, as internally generated revenue cannot be enough to fund some projects. Some workers of local government show up once or twice a week, while others visit their offices only on the payday. So join us and let's reason together on this critical issue of our time on your weekend companion, The Weekend File. My name is Kieran Umaya. Once again, thanks for joining us. Now, the news making the rounds today, President Muhammadu Buhari's 3-day official engagement in the Republic of Germany has ended on a compassionate note with a visit to a wounded Nigerian military officer recuperating in a Berlin hospital. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has that report.
The military officer, Brigadier General Muhammad Sani Aliyu, acting general officer commanding 3 Division of the Nigerian Army, survived a fatal road mishap while on tour of duty in the troubled northeastern Nigeria. During the accident along Maiduguri Damaturu Road, the head of training and operations of the Nigerian Army, Major General Yushau Abubakar, who was in the same vehicle with him, died on the spot. President Muhammadu Buhari, whose convoy veered off its way to the airport for the hospital, congratulated the officer for the progress he has made in his treatment in the last 6 months. The president, accompanied by the governors of Borno and Imo states, some ministers, and the national security advisor, wished him quick recovery and early return to his family and duties in Nigeria.
That tells you the mind of the commander-in-chief. It was a very hectic 3-day engagement, back-to-back, not an inch of space. But while all of that was going on, it was clear that the mind on the president was still on the troops, fighting to secure the country. The president was so therefore to thank God for his life, because the condition in which he was taken, air ambulanced, he was stretchered into the hospital, unable to move any part of his body but the head. So it's quite significant that the president, as commander-in-chief, under all circumstances, has his own mind, the well-being and the welfare of his own troops.
General Muhammad Aliyu thanked the president for the show of sympathy, saying his spirit to serve Nigeria not only remains unbroken, but further uplifted by his visit. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Abuja after his official visit to the Republic of Germany. He was received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by the FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris, the Permanent Secretary of the State House Jalal Arabi, and other senior government officials.
Really, I'm proud again to say I'm a Nigerian, given the warm reception accorded to Mr. President and the kind words and comments spoken by the head of government and the president of Germany, and so for me it's quite pleasing. I think there's no better time for us to take advantage of this auspicious moment in our history to fix things right in Nigeria. Nations now believe in us, they trust us, they respect us, so we should use that again to look inwards and develop the resources of our land. All I can say is that the whole world is waiting for Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Germany on the invitation of Chancellor Angela Merkel lasted 3 days. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has made a case for more aggressive investments in Nigeria by existing and prospective German investors for enhanced economic and trade relations between Nigeria and Germany. Speaking at the German-Nigeria Business Day as part of his official visit to Berlin, the president said Nigeria is truly open for business and investment. State House correspondent again has that report.
President Muhammadu Buhari told the German business community that his administration is on course with its mission of reclaiming Nigeria from all forms of criminality, restoring confidence in public institutions, as well as revamping the economy through diversification.
We are now throwing the challenge and the opportunity to you to be a part of our emerging success story. Nigeria needs your expertise, your experience, and investments, and you need our market. We are the largest population in Africa with about 180 million people, the gateway to the ECOWAS market, and the 6th largest in the world. And our hunger for growth and development is growing.
He urged them to look beyond Nigeria's temporary challenges and focus on the abundant opportunities for long-term business and investment partnership with the country, especially in economic priority areas of agriculture, industrialization, infrastructure, solid minerals, and digital economy. Nigeria, he said, is in a hurry to develop and realize her full potentials through the robust economic diversification plans to be supported by soon-to-be-launched Development Bank of Nigeria.
The main message I bring to you is that Nigeria is open for business and investment, and that we welcome broader relationship with Germany. It is my hope that we will go beyond the expression of interest and make binding commitments for trade, investments, and industry.
The trade volume between Nigeria and Germany stood at about $3 billion as at last year.
We want to be in Nigeria and we want to be part of your success, which you are paving actively the way forward.
What they all admitted is that with the new attack on corruption, greater confidence is growing in the Nigerian government, in Nigerians, and in Nigeria's future, without which it would have been impossible for them to want to make any further commitments. That is a big takeaway. And many of them are promising to continue investing in agriculture, in high tech, in power and general development.
There are presently about 100 German companies operating in Nigeria, mostly in the manufacturing sector. From Berlin, Germany, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In another development, President Buhari has restated the unshakable resolve of his administration to bring an end to the culture of impunity and abuse of public trust so that the nation's resources can be fully utilized for public good. Speaking at an audience with representatives of the Nigerian community in Germany, the president said Nigeria must be made to realize her full potential as major economy and responsible member of the international community. Here again is Adamu Sambo.
The interactive forum with a cross-section of the Nigerian community within and without Germany provided the opportunity for President Muhammadu Buhari to give an insight into his administration's efforts at addressing Nigeria's fundamental problems for sustainable growth and development of the country through the change agenda. He said concerted efforts are being made towards securing Nigeria for efficient management on the basis of the rule of law.
We have decided on one Nigeria. We have decided to manage it properly. We are going to be very hard on corruption. If you work hard, and you are getting, and try and see how much tax you can pay us. But to take money from government and get away with it no more. There are a lot of wicked people in our country. And we will try and see how we can stop them being wicked and helping the country to realize its riches and potentialities.
The Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audu Ogbe, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, gave further details on the nation's economic diversification plans.
Everybody in that country is talking agriculture now. So those of you who are here who have interest in agri, don't hesitate. We've put in place a mechanism to protect whoever is coming in or whoever is a Nigerian that's having investments in agriculture. Your Nigeria is coming back on street.
And with the kind of support we're giving to people who are doing farming, agriculture, which is our major focus at this time, we believe that we're going to achieve good results.
Various speakers at the forum were unanimous that the Buhari administration is doing its best towards rebuilding Nigeria and restoring its glory, and therefore offered suggestions on the best way forward. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Diaspora Matters, Abike Dabri Erewa, coordinated the interactive session.
In about 2 weeks' time, we'll be meeting with the officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to validate the diaspora policy, so that all engagements will center around the diaspora policy. We're also working on the Presidential Initiative for Diaspora Excellence, where you can put together what we're talking about and have it structured.
At the event, some members of the diaspora community making the nation proud were introduced to the President. From Berlin, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And back home now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has identified lack of commitment to the rule of law as being a setback to the nation's progress, calling on religious leaders to also emphasize on the principle of righteousness in their sermons as they do on salvation. He was speaking at the launch of a book entitled The Praying General, written in honor of former head of state General Yakubu Gowon. State House correspondent Chide Onifade reports.
Stressing the importance of prayers in the lives of the people, the Vice President notes that this would, however, not be enough, but living according to standard set by Christ.
Principles of hard work, of integrity, the principles of justice by the rule of law, principles of justice without fear or favor. Those are the principles. That's why the scripture says righteousness exalts a nation. There are nations that follow principles of righteousness, and they are exalted, they prosper.
He says General Gowon deserves to be celebrated as he has over the years demonstrates an exemplary leadership.
But the fact that he can stand here today and we can say he's lived an unblemished life, that for me is what stands him out. What stands him out is that his exemplary leadership. He stands up there and we can say, we don't know that General Gowon stole our money.
General Yakubu Gowon, who initiated the Nigerian praise movement in 1996, speaks on the vision.
I'm confident that with the leading of the Holy Spirit, we shall continue to do right and pray without ceasing for the healing of our land and ourselves.
For most of the guests at this banquet, the labor of our leaders should not be in vain, and they must be celebrated while still alive.
It is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of God, Almighty God, to obey His will.
He remains a patriot with a heart big enough to love a nation so deeply that he passionately labors continually for her advancement.
The book captures the fond memories of General Yakubu Gowon, who at the age of 29 and as the then head of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces fought a 27-month civil war to keep Nigeria as one. And even at 82, he continues to pray for his fatherland. In Abuja, Chide Onifade, NTA News.
It's been a few days after 21 girls were released from captivity. Reports have it that the girls are gradually coming out of the nightmare they have been through. Now let's get that report.
A few days after the 21 girls were released after 2 years horrendous ordeal in the hands of Boko Haram insurgents, smiles, joy and songs of praises are gradually returning to their lives. Their forlorn and faces of despair when they were first shown on TV after their release have given way to optimism and laughter, just after a few days of rehabilitation and care by the government. The girls are in very high spirits as they laughed and joked with the Minister of Women Affairs, Hajia Jumai Al-Hassan, when she visited them.
And in the same vein, elders and people of Borno State have commended the federal government for securing the release of 21 out of more than 200 Chibok schoolgirls abducted by Boko Haram in April 2014. Lami Ali reports.
The news of the release of the abducted Chibok schoolgirls after being held captive for 2 years and 6 months by Boko Haram insurgents was received with excitement.
I give glory to God, and my people in the village, I think they are going to celebrate.
So to relate with the young, with the old, he was a man who also feared God, and I think he dispensed judgment with that fear of God.
A documentary entitled Royal Passage, tribute to the first in the series of documentaries on Benin Kingdom, comes up on NTA Network. Join us at 10:30 p.m. tomorrow after the newsline on the network service of the NTA. Nigerians have been urged to embrace proper hygiene to stay healthy. Managing Director of Rikit Benkisa, Rahul Magin, said this when he commissioned a hand-washing center at the United Christian Nursery and Primary School in Apapa, Lagos. Ime Udori reports.
These are children playing. It's common and normal to find these young ones play around the environment. These kids, in some cases, come in contact with disease-causing germs, which are harmful to their health. The establishment of this hand-washing center by Rikit Benkisa is part of the company's efforts at promoting proper hygiene.
Our vision is to create a healthier and happier nation, and we want Nigeria to be having the legacy of a healthy nation. So the whole activity for this year is to educate children with the message of washing hands.
Prevention is the best form of eradication of all these preventable diseases, not medication. So message like this are actually needed to take it to the homes so that our parents also will know.
The whole idea is to increase awareness on the importance of hand washing as an easy, effective and affordable way to prevent diseases and save lives.
It starts with the kids. Hopefully they teach their brothers and their sisters. But the most important thing is actually when it would start with the parents. You see, so from the top of the family. So I hope
when you build the habit of washing hands regularly in these children, then we can reduce the rate of infections. We can reduce the rate at which we have diarrhea conditions.
Children were enlightened on the different steps of washing their hands. There was also a dance drama to educate them on the benefits of washing their hands with Dettol soap. The event is in commemoration of Global Hand Washing Day, which is celebrated on the 15th of October every year.
We thank you for staying with us up to this moment as correspondents examine third-tier structure in Nigeria, challenges, constraints, and way out on delivery of democracy dividends. This is Weekend File.
When has it reached this? Much less this. And this. And this. And this. Help reclaim our Commonwealth. Lend your support to the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.
Once in a generation, a technology emerges that transforms a nation. Glo's new 4G network is exactly that. It is by far the fastest mobile internet in Nigeria and the first with nationwide coverage. Government institutions and big business will have the tools they need to build the powerhouse of Africa. Small business will be enabled to make the big leap. Medical procedures will be more advanced and your home will become truly smart. With our most extensive national optic fiber network linked seamlessly to Glow One submarine cable, it is data speed and capacity beyond imagination. 4G will accelerate Nigeria's progress into the Super League, and everyone will see their lives change beyond recognition. The wait is over. Welcome to 4G LTE from Glow. Welcome to the new speed of life.
On your way home, something fascinating happens in the shop. Wow, what's that? A tasty fruit drink shines. It's in a pouch, but not a normal pouch. It's the fascinating Capri-Sun pouch. It's great to handle and easy to use for everyone. Capri-Sun brings the real fun to drinking. Put the straw in and the fascination continues. Capri-Sun, naturally fun.
House of Chi.
The Benin Traditional Council invites members of the general public to the celebration of our heritage, the coronation ceremonies of His Royal Highness Crown Prince Ambassador Ihenede Ediawa Edaike Nuselu as Omonobanedu Kwakpolokpolo, Oba of Benin. Tuesday, 18th October 2016, the Edaike will proceed to Use village for the ceremony to choose a name. Thursday, 20th October 2016, the Edaike will leave Usama for Benin, proceeding through Isekere to Rukpota for the coronation ceremonies and presentation of staff of office by the governor of Edo State. On Friday, 21st October 2016, there will be a special Durbar presentation courtesy of His Eminence Haji Saad Abubakar III, Sultan of Sokoto, in honor of His Royal Majesty the King. Sunday, 23rd October 2016, the Omonoba will have a Thanksgiving worship at Holy Aosa Cathedral. Come, let's celebrate.
Introducing the new look of refreshment. The new, happier, friendlier packs of Happy Hour by Chivita. Packed with more bursts of fun and refreshment. Happy Hour by Chivita. Happier bursts of refreshment. Introducing the new look of refreshment. The new, happier, friendlier packs of Happy Hour by Chivita. Packed with more bursts of fun and refreshment. Happy Hour by Chivita. Happier bursts of refreshment.
IGR workshop for heads of tertiary institutions in Nigeria, holding in Abuja. In times like this, only creative and innovative institutions can fulfill their visions and missions. Join other vice chancellors, rectors, and provosts for this 360 degrees strategic blueprint summit for tertiary institutions, internally generated and third stream revenues. Date 1st and 2nd November 2016. Venue Race Continental Hotel, Central Business District, Abuja. For inquiries, call 0818-502-1405 or 090-345-34925. You can also email us with info@scbsedu.org or you visit our website on www.scbsedu.org/IGR Abuja to register. Please come with the directors of income generating centers of your institution. IGR Workshop. Relearn, network, and re-strategize. This initiative is of Sean Cousins Consulting and NTA TV Enterprise.
Goodness is getting better. Introducing new exciting packs from Hollandia Yogurt. Goodness just got better. Hollandia Yogurt. It's all good.
From the House of Chi.
Goodness is getting better. Introducing new exciting packs from Hollandia Yogurt. Goodness just got better. Hollandia Yogurt. It's all good.
From the House of Chi.
The National Assembly Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Anti-Corruption and the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, in collaboration with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the European Union and the African Development Studies Center are organizing a national conference on the role of the legislature in the fight against corruption. Date Tuesday 18th and Wednesday 19th October 2016. Venue Nigerian Air Force Conference Center, Ahmadu Bello Way, Kado, Abuja. Time 9 a.m. daily. The opening ceremony will be performed by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, who is a special guest of honor. Keynote speaker Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, Director General, Kenyan Law School. Hosts His Excellency Senator Abubakar Bukola Saraki, President of the Senate. His Excellency Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Announcers, Senator Chukwuka Utazi, Chairman, Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes. Honorable Akilio Aziz Babajide, Chairman, House Committee on Anti-Corruption.
It has been a source of concern that the closest tier of government to the people, the local government councils, suffer neglect and infringement on their constitutional responsibilities by way of interference. This, many believe, is retarding rural development in Nigeria. In this background report, Ablaye Garba Kudu examines the situation and the way out.
A typical example of Nigeria's rural areas lacking basic amenities of life. Perhaps this was one of the reasons behind local government reforms of 1976, which created the third tier of government to be closest to the people. This was with the aim of bringing development to their doorstep and reduce rural-urban drift. Over the years, the local councils have undergone various reforms, bringing their number to 774 in the country, constitutionally recognized as the third tier of government. But how have these councils been faring in performing their statutory responsibilities? This many agreed leaves much to be desired, as they do not have free hands to operate due to political interference by the dominant state governments, affecting their financial autonomy.
The preserved revenue areas for local governments have been also hijacked completely by the state government.
A situation where a chairman of a local government cannot access funds directly for the development of that area. Development is going to be slow. Such areas will be backward.
Of concern to many is the way states do not allow local governments to elect their leaders. As at now, only 10 states out of 36 and the FCT conducted local government elections. This prompted the National Assembly to intervene with bills and motions that will enforce elections on their independence. For now, a bill to that effect has passed second reading in the House of Representatives.
So my amendment is to the effect that before any state government can access the capital market to borrow funds, particularly for capital projects, they must show compliance with Section 7 of the Constitution.
I've seen the President with the Governors Forum. We are going to dialogue. We have to have a situation of give and take. I think some of the responsibilities of the federal government has to be devolved to the states and local governments.
As pressure mounts for autonomy and independence of local governments to function effectively, there are calls for more devolution of power to allow them to take their rightful place.
For instance, the teachers' salaries are paid by the local government. Deductions are made from the source. Yet, the local government chairman does not have absolute right over the local education authority.
Nigerians are unanimous that the slow pace of Nigeria's development is hinged mainly on the neglect of the local governments because of their grassroots-based arrangement. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Thank you, Abdullahi. Also from Enugu, Susan Eze reports that improved funding and granting of full autonomy to the local government have been suggested as ways of making the system work effectively in the grassroots.
In Enugu State, the administration of His Excellency has a record of what they call VEC, visit every community. That record is still working because with that, each time you look at it, you begin to understand what each community needs. And from there, you begin to solve their problems. Coming to the local government, that is exactly where people begin to feel the impact of government. Some of them might not even have the opportunity of even seeing who the governor is, seeing who the president is. The person they see at the local government is the person they can complain their problems to.
Autonomy of local government is also an issue many believe is necessary to reduce the excessive control state governors have over local government chairmen.
I ask all Nigerians to help local governments get financial autonomy to go a long way in developing this nation.
Development of rural communities, according to social analysts, is an important factor in solving the problems of rural-urban drift and youth unemployment. Local government system is in place. It must be strengthened to live up to its constitutional role and to meet the people's expectations. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA Weekend File.
Kingsley Amajiri from Port Harcourt reports that poor management, lack of financial autonomy, and the overbearing influence of state governors are militating against the smooth running of local government administration in Nigeria.
Everything will depend on the state government to do it for us.
A number of communities in Rivers State lack basic social amenities such as potable water, adequate primary health care system, feeder roads, public convenience, good markets, parks and gardens, among others required of every local government councils, except for those provided by the state government. A visit to some of the local government council offices indicates that there is laxity to work, especially for those at the local communities. Some stakeholders said the local government councils can only be made functional and responsive to the needs of the people if they are given autonomy.
Local government will provide services when they are given this financial autonomy I'm discussing here now.
It is the power of assembly to make laws for them, but the assembly does not make fund for them. So local government have nothing to generate from.
At most, many can only pay staff salaries.
I cannot say because the allegation is low that I use that advantage not to pay salary.
The solution to making local government council relevant to the grassroots beyond autonomy, analysts say, requires democratization of the leadership structure and ensuring that it is not an experimental ground for beginners in leadership. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA Weekend 5.
And when we return, former chairman of a local government in Nigeria on the third-tier structure and the way forward. Don't go away.
10 years ago, Globe predicted that the future lay in data. They laid a dedicated fiber optic ring around the country, seamlessly connecting to cities, suburbs, and towns. They created innovative, flexible, and highly affordable data plans. Then, Glo launched 4G LTE, data so clear and so fast that it will transform the way Nigerians communicate, work, learn, and play. They can listen to millions of music tracks, enjoy thousands of movies, play online video games, and even watch live TV. Their homes have become smart homes. This is the new speed of life.
Enjoy the fastest data speed plus free world-class content at 10 gigabytes for 2,500 naira and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Available in all Glow World outlets and Glow dealers. Welcome to the new speed of life.
Chlorets chewing gum neutralizes bad odor. It doesn't just disguise them, it gives you real minty breath.
Taste the nectar of paradise. Chi Exotic Nectar in pineapple, coconut, multifruita, and other exotic flavors. The taste will take you there. Chi Exotic Nectar is key to paradise.
House of Chi.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Feel the tasty, refreshing goodness of Chi Iced Tea. Chi Iced Tea, made from premium natural tea leaves. With delicious
delicious fruity flavors. Chi iced tea. To the tea side of life.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And my guest tonight is a one-time chairman of Kenya local government area of Nasarawa State. He is Jibrin Sabo Kenya. Welcome to Weekend File.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Now, you have been a man in the saddle and you are in a better position to explain things to Nigerians. What do you make of the present situation with respect to local government and state relationship?
So we can only continue to repeat ourselves on the state of local government in Nigeria and what has become of it. Because the history is clear now. The whole country, individuals, when we started this program of alerting the country that the system is being systematically destroyed by the second tier of government, we were being seen as people who were rebellious and looking for authority for ourselves. But it has become apparent now that even on the streets, everybody now knows that the operators of the second tier of government have destroyed the third tier of government to the detriment of laying the foundations for development in this country, and we're all going to have to pay for it. The essence of local government system is not just construction of culverts and developmental programs that the government now seizes and does and thinks that's the work of the local government or the essence of the existence of the local government system. One of the most fundamental reasons for the 1976 reform of the local government system in Nigeria is leadership development, institutional leadership development that would create human capital at local government level and the institution that will be available for exploitation of people's needs in their communities. It's been pushed aside completely, and people just believe now that the local government system is there for the essence of the state government. Two, the problem that has continued to bedevil the local government system is the conscious misrepresentation and misinterpretation of Section 7 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And once the Nigerian nation decide to re-establish the status of that provision in the Constitution, which says the system of the local government system in Nigeria must be democratically established. We don't need to beg a state government or a state governor to let that come to bear, because it's a responsibility upon all of us now. Everybody knows now that at the local government, you don't have an authority to take care of the daily needs of the ordinary people, of the security, of the peace, of the marketing, of the farming, of the youth development. So the country is becoming ungovernable. So it is now a responsibility of all Nigerians to draw the attention of the authorities that be to find a way to get authority and full autonomy to the local government system so that local government autonomies can be given back to them, so that the communities can have their government without even looking at the failures that has continued to pervade the state government.
Now, part of the reason, given by state governments is the fact that most of their development projects, crisscross the local government areas in their state. And if I can give you a road, for instance, in a particular council area, that you have no job to do, All right. So when the disbursement, comes, somehow he tries to like say, okay, fine, I'll take part of this money because I'm also contributing to the development of your country area. Does it make sense?
That is why I made my first input was we have forgotten the essence of local government reform in this country. The fundamental essence of local government reform is leadership and institutional development at community levels. If, for instance, the records of what the states have continued to do with road construction, water provision, electricity provision, and all sorts of manners of infrastructure provisions as they claim, we wouldn't be discussing this in Nigeria today. They have all failed. The state governments have not performed. There is no development in the last 20 years that you can say has stood time for Nigerians now to rest on their hours that the governors are performing and doing anything better. What we've had since 1999 to date is records of scandals and ineffectiveness and lack of performance on the second tier of government. Okay, supposing the federal government, the first tier of government says, I can construct road. All my roads, all my trunkway roads passes from Abuja to every state and through every local government. Let me give the contract in Abuja. You are failing to carry the people and the masses along. So the essence of, first and foremost, is that you are institutionalizing government as a replacement of the traditional institution that existed. You've collapsed the kings in the local government system today are kings without kingdoms. The kingdoms that have and resembles what it looks like before the negotiation of the British people and the local people, was that kings had their kingdoms. Now you've transformed that to local government. People believe that that is the only way that they have organic interface with the leadership, with themselves. So you keep that thriving. By doing that, you stop people from migrating to the urban areas. You stop people from being restive. You begin to have things that they can live commonly in their community. Development of the government institutions at local government level is the primary reason for local government reform. And if that is properly in place, people who retire will have reasons to go back home and find relevance in contributing to the development of their place and sustain security problems, resting problems, and other developmental advisory problems for their community. Living is by that.
Now, people believe that the crux of the matter here is the issue of accounts. Do you subscribe to that?
That is the essence of the autonomy. When I was a local government chairman, I was running a local government
constitutionally, there is a joint account system established in the Constitution.
It's a misinterpretation of the status of that provision.
So, how do you interpret it now?
The interpretation is that if the state generates internally generated revenue, is supposed to give 10% of the internally generated revenue to all local government council areas in the state, in addition to the funds that were gotten from the federal government. And this should be done in line with the percentage or the indices that was used even at the primary location at the federal government. Because once there is an institution by law of the Federal Republic, there can be no any other way of sharing funds and resources in the state that is not concurrent with what the federal law is. Because there is a revenue mobilization board. There is a system they have used, there are indices that have used to allocate funds to particular local governments. So if you generate your internal generated revenue, you are supposed to give 10% of that to the local government councils in proportionate manner as would have been done at the federal level.
What about the one that comes from federal government? What happens to that? The disbursement that comes from federal government?
It's supposed to go directly to the account
of local government.
Of the individual local government councils.
Not to state?
No, not to state.
But what obtains now?
What obtains now that they have misinterpreted, they have lost the spirit of the interpretation.
So the states now
collects all the money and uses it to buy only luxury goods for themselves and for whoever they want.
Okay, I think there's an issue raised some years ago with respect to the activities of some local government chairmen who did nothing, even when they were getting, these disbursements directly. How do you analyze?
You cannot give escape route. There cannot be any uniform rule to say that the local government system was not lacking people who didn't perform, even when they were giving funds. That also goes for state governments and federal government and all institutions across the world. But you don't, because somebody has failed, or you are assuming that if you give somebody he's going to fail, you will not give him his right to be judged by his people. If a local government person a local government chairman is given his allocation and he fails, he is going to go back for re-election. And one of the ways we can get this out is that all the elections of the local government system today, one of the amendments that the Mr. President can do for this country is to convocate a stakeholders meeting. Since the country has now agreed that the state governments have misappropriated and misinterpreted the provisions of the Constitution, we must now convocate and give full steam to the amendment of the Constitution at the federal level so that the autonomy of the local government is granted, elections of the local government systems are conducted nationally so that the governors don't sit down in their homes and write reports, because 90%, and sadly too, even the houses of assembly today across the country are passing laws. These are law-making institutions at the state level, are making laws that are so inconsistent with Section 7 of the Constitution. How can a state government law, a government house of assembly, pass a law that the governor has a right to appoint management team for 9 months? It's in Nasarawa State, it's in Anambra State, it's in Imo State, it's in Rivers State, and these are people who are supposed to have been full-time, passionate, patriotic members of establishment of ensuring that the local government system is fully in place democratically across the country. As examples,
it's been long Nigerians heard about local government election, and local governments are under the state. Doesn't the state have the power to perhaps appoint as against electing the people to be in there?
That's the problem with also the country. We are always giving interpretation as it suits us. What is the aim and what is the need for A or B or C in a country?
What's the way out as a final
The way out today is let the Constitution be amended. Mr. President has the goodwill, has the status to convocate a conference of all the principal stakeholders. Let it be resolved nationally that the Constitution should be amended. Every House Assembly must queue in so that the Constitution is amended and give autonomy both for its administrative management and electoral activities to be conducted nationally so that it can have the bedrock for democratic growth in this country. Otherwise, we'll be running around a cycle and we'll have no way out, and we'll continue to say local government, local government, local government. There's no local government in Nigeria as today.
Jibrin Sabo Kene, I want to thank you for talking to us on Weekend File. It's been really exciting and educative, listening to you this evening. Thank you very much indeed for being part of tonight's show. You are watching Weekend File, and I've been speaking with a one-time local government chairman in Nasarawa State, Jibrin Sabo Kene. Stay with us. Sports will be coming in a short while.
It's here again. It's the 11th Biennial Conference of Africa Broadcasters, TAG Africast, organized by the National Broadcasting Commission. In Nigeria, we say better soup na money kill 'em. In Africast, we know this. That's why the theme of Africast 2016 is Digital Terrestrial Broadcasting, the imperative of financing quality content. With over 60 participating countries, over 2,000 participants, local and foreign exhibitors, Africast is the most vibrant market for broadcasters, policymakers, content producers, equipment manufacturers, exhibitions, panel discussions, and masterclasses. Date from October the 18th to 20th, 2016. Abuja Sheraton Hotel and Towers host Africa's 2016. Time 9 a.m. daily. See you there. Africast. Investment. Content. Technology.
President Friends Unite Association has advised women to maintain a healthy lifestyle and guard against breast cancer. She said this at a cancer awareness walk and interactive session meant to make women go for early screening in Kaduna. Muhammad Umar Ajinge reports.
Cancer is an abnormal growth of cells that can affect any part of the body. Breast cancer is the most common among females worldwide that, if not detected early, becomes terminal. Friends Unite, a non-profitable organization dedicated to providing awareness on the devastating effect of breast cancer, took to the street from Kaduna Golf Club to Katsina Roundabout down to Ahmadu Bello Way in Kaduna Metropolis, sensitizing people on the phenomenon.
The primary purpose is to actually create awareness among the populace that breast cancer exists.
From our experience, we have gone through it, for almost 4 years, with my late wife, whom this NGO is today, honoring.
We are going to collaborate with them so that we'll be able to go to the villages and create more awareness to our women.
Going back to my state to share with the Ministry of Health and advise them on what to do.
If a woman starts menstruating early and stop very late, she has a higher chance of developing breast cancer. A woman that does not breastfeed her child has a very high chance of developing breast cancer.
Or you just look at the breast, it doesn't look identical.
One is small, one is big. The big one or the small one may have cancer in it.
They were unanimous in their submissions that early detection is key to preventing the disease. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Division Kaduna, one division, Kaduna, emerged overall winners of the 16th Nigerian Army Sports Festival 2016, which ended in Abuja. Kenne Imambodike has more on that.
After keen contest in 19 sports over 1 week, the curtains fell on the 16th Nigerian Army Sports Festival 2016 Saturday at the main bowl of the Abuja National Stadium, with the one division Kaduna emerging overall winners with a total of 118 medals made up of 45 gold, 32 silver and 41 bronze.
Stand up for the champion. Please put your hands together for the champion. Stand up.
Hosts Army Headquarters Garrison came second with 103 medals, while the 81 Division Lagos came third with 94 medals, followed by 2 Division Ibadan and 82 Division Enugu. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Ambassador Danjuma Sheni, who stood in for the Minister Mansuru Dan Ali, commended the organizers and athletes for exhibiting high level of discipline and professionalism during the games, pledging the ministry's readiness to support the army at all times.
We shall ensure the provision of modern sporting facilities and the upgrading of existing ones in our various barracks and cantonments.
Goodwill messages came from the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalung, and President of Nigeria Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel. Highlights of the closing ceremony include finals of some events in athletics, novelty relay, combat relay, as well as invitational tug of war. The next edition of the Games is expected to be held in 2017. In Abuja, Kenai Imabodike, NTA News.